1 year ago, I decided to completely lock in, to focus on one goal, to cut out all the noise and just go full sprint towards it. During this 1 year period, or it's been a little over a year now, I've been able to grow my personal brand from 0 to 300,000 total followers while I'm still in high school. So if you're listening to this and this is something that you're interested in, if you want to completely cut out distractions, if you haven't been focusing as much as you wanted to recently, you need to lock in. You need to set a goal. You need to go straight towards it. Cut out all distractions and go towards it. So I want to give you guys some good tips to do this. And I'm not going to give you the basic delete social media, maybe even lock yourself in your room for days to work. We all know these things. We all know that this is what we need to do, but maybe it's too hard for you. Maybe you just don't know exactly how. So let me give you guys some advice. The first thing I'd say, we say to delete social media. We say to get off social media. For a lot of us, that's hard, especially if you're running a personal brand like me. I can't delete social media because how am I going to post? How am I going to keep up with my audience? I have all these things I'm managing on the platforms that by deleting them off of my phone, I'll just lose all connections I have to my work. So the way to get around this, and I'm so happy I figured this out because I've been having this problem for a while. I've been running social media accounts for 5 years now, since I was 10 years old. And maybe it's been 6 years now. I'd say 5 though. And throughout this whole time I've had to keep social media, even though over and over again I've been told delete it. I was like, I can't delete it. I need it for this brand I'm running. So the way we can get around this on Instagram specifically, because I know a lot of you guys probably spend 2 hours on Instagram every day. I mean, do the math. That's like days of your year just wasted away. So here's how we get around this. We go into Instagram and we hold down on the profile. You can mute profiles, you can mute stories, you can mute posts. I'll try to have something up right here where you can see exactly what to do. So I'll have this. So right here, I'll show you. You can mute people's stories. You can mute their posts, because a lot of us come up with the excuse, we can't unfollow people. The answer to be able to run a social media account without deleting it would be to unfollow everyone, of course. But some of us, we don't want to unfollow people because it's our personal account, and people will get mad if we unfollow them. You have to use messages, so you want to follow people to reach out to them. All these things. So you want to keep following people. So you just mute their profiles, so you won't see any of their posts. And let's be honest, a lot of these posts we're seeing, all our friends' stories and all their Instagram posts of them doing fun stuff, who cares? This isn't the time, this isn't the season to worry about that. So if you're trying to keep up with your friends online, maybe it's time to just mute them. Don't block them, don't unfollow them, just mute them so you don't see any of their stuff for a year or however long it's going to take you. And just don't worry about it. They're not going to know you muted them. They're not going to know you're not looking at their stuff anymore. Unless they're a complete freak and they're checking their story, viewers. If they're doing that, then maybe they will, but they're crazy if they're doing that. They're wasting a bunch of time. They got nothing to do. So you probably don't even want to be that close to them anyways. You don't need to be looking at anyone's posts. So mute every single person. And I mean every single person. Even your favorite influencer, bro, mute them. Who cares? If it's an influencer, unfollow them, because you don't need to be following those types of people. So I've done this for most of the accounts I follow, except there are a few, because since I'm running social media accounts, for me specifically, a lot of you guys aren't doing this yet. So don't even worry about this at all. But if you are running social media accounts, you might need to keep some people's posts in your feed. If you're working with a creator, of course, don't mute them because you want to see what they're up to. If you are, let's say, you have an inspiration of a content creator, you can keep following them. Don't mute their stories because you want to see what they're posting. You want to kind of keep up with them, because you have to be really smart about it of who you don't mute. But ideally, if you're watching this, the majority of you guys just mute every single person. Like, screw that. Like, just mute them all. You don't need to see their stuff. It's like, let's be honest, you don't need that. And then if you can, like, if you want to go the extra mile, if you really want to lock in, delete all social medias. If you're not running any accounts, any personal brands, delete all your social medias. Like, completely just get out of there. You don't need it for messaging. Maybe if you're using like Instagram to message people, if you're using Snapchat to message people, like, only the specific people that you care about, give them your number, and then delete the apps. Like, tell them, I'm gonna get off social media for a little bit. Here's my number if you want to contact me. Just send them that message, then delete the apps. It's that simple. Like, go do that after this video. The second this video ends, you're gonna want to finish this video though, because I'm gonna give you guys a lot of information. But the second this video ends, you're gonna go to your social medias. You're gonna message your friends or whoever you're using the social medias to message. You're gonna message them, I'm gonna get off social media for a little bit. Here's my number if you want to contact me. Or you can even ask for their number first and get their number, then delete the app. But most of you guys really don't need it, so don't even worry about it. Next thing, or let's just add to that whole social media thing, you also want to turn your phone on Do Not Disturb. Like, you don't need to have messages coming in while you're working. You don't want to be like in your room working. First of all, you shouldn't have your phone in your room while you're working. Your phone should be in a whole different room, because why would you need your phone like next to you? You're just gonna get dings and then like a Snapchat notification, you're gonna go look at it. You don't need that. Like, you got to be really particular with the distractions around you. You want to cut out all distractions. So your phone next to you, that's a big distraction. Even if you're getting no notifications, even if you have it on Do Not Disturb, having it next to you is gonna make your brain like think, oh, if I get bored for a second of my work, I'm just gonna go on my phone. No, you don't want that. You want nothing that can distract you from the flow state work you're going into. So no phone in the room, put it on Do Not Disturb, block all messages, maybe like add a thing so if your mom or dad or someone needs to call you or message you, anyone close, like an emergency contact, yeah, let them come through, because something bad could happen. You don't want just to ignore that. But everyone else, block, or not, don't block, but mute your notifications for every platform. Like, turn off notifications for YouTube, turn off notifications for Snapchat, turn off notifications for everything. Because then the apps are controlling you, you're not controlling them. So if you have notifications on for Snapchat, you're gonna get a Snapchat and you're gonna click on it and stop doing whatever you're doing. But if you have notifications off, you're only gonna check your Snapchat whenever you wanna check your Snapchat. Does that make sense? Like, you don't want it to just be controlling your whole day. You wanna have times where you check social media, where you respond to people, if you still have social media. Like, if you're an influencer or someone where you need times where you're gonna message people back, of course, but you don't need them sending notifications throughout your day and interrupting your work. So get social media out of here. Stop wasting your time with it. And then the next thing, this is the big one. This one completely changes everything. Let me actually pull up an example real quick. This one's time blocking. So let me show you kind of what I mean by time blocking. I can't flip the camera around, but like, here's a time block schedule. So right here, this is a calendar, this basic Apple calendar. Hopefully I'm not exposing anything. But yeah, right, all this empty space right here is school. But you can see, like, I have tasks planned out at the end of my days. It's like, eat and journal, edit TikTok, go to the gym, and I'm having everything like planned out by time and task, and I'm being as specific as possible. So I don't know if you can read these, but plan out 2 YouTubes. This is one that I'm filming right now. Create new food plan, daily essentials, which is just basically my meditation, reading, etc. Go to the grocery store, cook and eat breakfast. Then I have like a little space here because I knew that all this was going to take longer than I expected, because I was at the grocery store, I had to drive far, so I was there for like an hour maybe. So what you're going to do is you're going to leave spaces like when you can't do some things. When you know things are going to last longer than you expect, leave spaces, because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. But yeah, get your calendar going. If you don't have a calendar system like that, or you're going to need one. Like, it helps a ton. Sorry, I'm getting this. Okay. It helps a ton. So plan out your days, because if you go into a day not knowing what you're going to do, then how do you expect to have a successful day? How do you expect to have a day that flows in a productive manner? You need to know what you're going to do after you complete a task. You complete a task, you don't want to be spending a ton of energy trying to figure out, what do I do next? Because the answer, it's going to be go on my phone and go on TikTok. It's the easiest thing to do. So when you don't have a plan, you're just going to resort to the easiest option, which is usually the worst option for you. Create a plan. Plan out your whole day and get super specific. Like, I had those gaps in there. Like, I guess school was in there. I had gaps for breaks. Ideally, though, you don't want gaps. You want to just have your day filled. Like, the calendar should be back-to-back tasks. And, you're going to have breaks in there. So your breaks could be to eat. So you'd add, like, eat for an hour somewhere. And that would just be your break. You throw on a podcast, you go and eat. And that's your little brain break there. So you're not overwhelming yourself. But you don't need to go into a day not knowing what you're going to do, right? Of course you can plan times to have fun. You're not working for 16 hours, but you do need to plan your work and your tasks throughout the whole day. So try it out. And honestly, it helps a ton. Like, we have so much stuff going on that we need to do stuff like this. We need to have plans. Plan as much as you can. Get super specific also. So one big tip when you're planning out these time blocking calendars, don't plan it by completion, because then it might mess up your whole day. I'll explain it in a second, but you want to plan it by time. So let's say you want to edit a video. You don't want to say edit until the video is complete, because you're going to plan it as like maybe an hour to edit the video, and it might take 2.5, and the rest of your day is thrown off. The rest of your schedule is thrown off. So a way around this is I started to plan according to time only. So edit a video would be an hour. If I only had an hour in that day to edit the video because I was super busy. So I'd put an hour in my schedule and just say edit video. And then once that hour's up, I go to the next task. Like, even if the video is not complete, I'll have to come back to it later in the day, maybe during a break. Maybe I'll have to sacrifice a break to complete the work because I wasn't efficient enough during the work time. But if you're having tasks that take up your whole day when you're expecting it to take like an hour and a half or something, then you're just ruining your flow. You're ruining the flow for the rest of the day. So plan stuff by time. Don't plan it by completion whenever possible. Of course, there are exceptions. If you have something that needs to be done by the end of the day, then sure, plan it by completion because it needs to be done that day. But if you have like a school assignment that's due at midnight, yeah, sure, say I have to complete it by this time. But for most of the things, you don't have to do that. All right, last thing. This one is the best for getting productive work done, and that is to master flow state. If you don't know what flow state is, it's when you get into a state of doing some type of work where you don't even remember that you're doing the work. It's kind of like when you're watching a movie and you feel so entranced by the movie, you feel like you're actually in the movie, that you forget you're sitting in a movie theater watching a movie. It's like that, but with work. You're like looking at, let's say you're working on a screen like for an hour. It's when you start looking at the screen and you start working, and then after 15 minutes, because it takes 10 to 15 minutes to get into flow state. So after 10 to 15 minutes, you're just going to be like so into the work, you don't even notice that you're working. You're just doing it. It's the best feeling ever, and it feels like you're not even doing the work. It doesn't feel hard because you're so into it. So the ways to do this, the best optimal time to do this is in the morning. Do it in the morning. Try to get into flow state in the morning as early as possible. Why? Because we have a certain amount of brain power every day, and throughout the day we lose it because we make decisions throughout the day. In the morning, you're fresh. Your mind is fresh and you haven't made any decisions yet. So that's the best time to get into flow state. That's when your mind is the sharpest. Maybe not like the second you wake up because you're still waking up, but like a half an hour to an hour after you wake up, your mind is going to be super sharp. So that's when flow state is going to be the easiest to get into. So what you're going to do, you're going to sit down at your desk. Let's say you're working on a script for a video. You're going to sit down at your desk. You're going to work. You're going to shut your doors and you're going to lock them. All right? You're going to tell your family if you have to. You're going to say, I'm going to go work for a few hours. Don't bother me, please. Be polite about it, but tell them you got work to do and you don't want to be disturbed during that time, and hopefully they understand. You want to explain it to them though, and because the second someone knocks on your door, the second someone walks into your room while you're in flow state, the flow state's gone, and then it's going to take another 10 to 15 minutes to get back into it. So ideally, you'd want no distractions at all for the hour to 2 hours that you're in flow state. When you start off, your flow state's only going to last about 30 minutes, but the further you go into it, the more you do flow state, or you try to get into flow state, the longer it's going to go for. So now I can do like hour-long work sessions. Sometimes I have like hour-and-a-half long work sessions. I think I've had like a 2-hour work session, like completely in flow state. Of course, I push past it sometimes because I have work to do, but when you're in flow state, it feels so nice, like you're not even working. And I've had it go for like 2 hours before. So the best way to ensure you can get into flow state as quick as possible, you want to focus on one task. So, if you have like tabs open on your Google Chrome, you don't want a Mr. Beast video up there. You don't want to say, okay, I'm going to go edit, and then I'm also going to write a script, but I'm going to do something in there. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm just going to sit down and figure it out. No. You want to sit down, you want to have no tabs open besides the work you're doing, and you want to know the exact work that you're going to do. You want one task to focus on at a time. Because, the second you start going around, you load up Instagram, start scrolling through DMs, start going through Instagram Reels, your flow state's gone. So pick a task, set a timer, set a 30-minute timer the first time. Say after this 30 minutes is up, I'll stop, because your flow state will probably be up by then. So you want to not overdo it. Ideally, you want to stop the work the second you feel flow state starting to go away. So the second you start feeling flow state go away, you're going to stop the work, and then, rest for like a minute or 5 to 10 minutes. Treat it like a workout routine. Treat it like you're in the gym. You're going to do a set of work for 30 minutes, and then you're going to do a rest break of 5 to 10 minutes. And that rest break can just be like walking around your room, maybe throw on a podcast and just like sit there and think for a second. But then the more you do it, you'll be able to go for longer. So now I can go for like an hour and a half work session, and then I can take a little break for like half an hour, and then come back to another hour and a half to 2-hour work session. And if you want to get crazy with it and you want to push past the flow state, yeah, you can go for like 2 hours, 3 hours. But I like to work in flow state because I get the best work done. And a lot of my work is creative. A lot of my work is problem solving. So I want to have a sharp mind for it. So I try to not overdo it, if that makes sense. All right, so focus on one task. Last thing, this one's big. Use music to optimize your work. Because remember, you don't want any distractions. So if you have music going that is going to tune everything else out, you'll be able to focus on one task. And I'm not saying put on Travis Scott rap music, because of course that is not going to be optimal. You're going to be more distracted putting on music like that than you are no music. So if you're going to put music on, which I really recommend, use some sort of atmospheric instrumental music. You could use meditation music. What I use is a website called brain.fm. It's super popular in the self-improvement niche sphere. So look up brain.fm. I'm not sponsored by them or anything. It does cost money to use for an extended period of time. So I bought the subscription because I use it so much, almost every work session. The great thing about it, here, I'll actually load it up right now so you can see. Yeah, I'm not sponsored. I'm giving them a free plug right now though, but let me show you. So you can load it up. It's already playing the music. But yeah, you can load it up, and then the best thing over here, you can set timers. So this might be flipped on your screen, but you gotta get the idea. Yeah, hopefully this is not inverted. But you can set timers. So I'd set a custom timer where I go for, I set a custom timer where I go for, let's say 30 minutes on, and then you can do intervals right here. So I do a custom thing where I do 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off, and then it makes a beeping sound after 25 minutes. The music keeps playing, but then it gives you a 5-minute break, then it counts back down for the rest of the 25 minutes, or to go into the next 25 minutes, if that makes sense. And you can completely customize the sounds you want. Look at this, you can customize what type of sound you want, up to you. You can add rainforest sounds, underwater sounds. So it's super sick. Check it out. You can have a little free trial so you can try it, but not sponsored, just a really good platform. I recommend it. So that's pretty much all I got for now. I have a ton of other things I could talk about, but I don't want to make this video too long. So lock in for the next 365 days, lock in for the next year, and get some work done. You know, no distractions. Imagine who you could be if you just locked in for the next year. So imagine how much work you can get done, how much progress you can make. That's all it takes. It takes 1 year of complete focus to make a change.